Hello Kakuchopurei players, my name is Lewis or Lickety and I'm at Asia PopCon 2024. Today we have a little bit of a different video for you. Not our usual Apa Gamers Mau or What Gamers Want. Instead we have an exclusive interview with none other than David B. Hayter, aka Solid Snake. Yes, that's right, Solid Snake is headlining this event, and with that said, we were fortunate enough to sit down with him and ask some questions. Now, this interview is actually divided up into 3 different sessions conducted by myself, my colleague Alleef, and our head of socials Alisha. I will be focusing more on the video game side of things, mainly talking about Snake and some other work he's been in recently. Alleef will be focusing more on the pop culture and movie side of things, and Alisha had some games for David B. Hayter. But just before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content just like this, and obviously ding dong that notification bell to be notified when we upload next, because we upload videos every single week. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the interview with David B. Hayter, aka Solid Snake.
Hey guys, it's Alleef here from Kakuchopurei, and we're here with the one and only Solid Snake, Mr. David Hayter. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. Okay, let's get to it.
Let's do this thing.
You were a writer and producer on the Netflix series Warrior Nun. I was actually a huge fan of the series. I watched both seasons, and I was pretty sad when the series was cancelled after the 2 seasons. Can you tell us what it was like working on that series, and are you involved with the revival movies?
I am not involved with the revival movies at this point. I don't know what the status of them are. Thank you for saying, because we loved making that show, and the experience of it was amazing. We shot in Spain. The first season was in Malaga. The second season was in Madrid. I got to live in Madrid for 6 months and shoot in all those beautiful locations and churches and crypts and graveyards, and our cast was amazing. It was really a unique experience. Everyone was a joy to work with, which is not always the case, and we just loved the show so much, and we really, we wish we had at least a 3rd season to wrap it up, but we were lucky to have what we had, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great series.
Thank you.
Yeah. You also voiced King Shark on the Flash TV series.
That's right.
You worked on the X-Men movies and Watchmen. Are there any other comic book properties or characters you've always dreamed of working on?
Well, growing up, Batman was always my favorite, so I would love to do a Batman movie at some point, or play Batman in an animated show or something like that. And Daredevil I always loved as well, and so I had wanted to create a Daredevil TV show long before they did the one.
Oh yeah, the one with
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox, yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix.
But yeah, I begged Fox to let me make a Daredevil TV show, but it never came together. And then the Charlie Cox show is amazing, and so I was really happy they did that right.
You would have been a great Batman or Daredevil.
Yes, thank you.
For my next question, you've played iconic characters like Solid Snake, but you've also done a lot of writing and producing. How do you feel your experiences as an actor has shaped your writing, especially when dealing with iconic characters in pop culture?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Almost everything I work on is revolves around superheroes or sci-fi or sort of larger than life things. So all of my experience playing superheroes, playing anime characters, through the 90s, really made it a lot easier for me to understand them and write them as real characters. And the other great thing about being an actor and screenwriter is when I write dialogue, I can act it out and I can say it out loud to see if it will work for the actors when they finally get the script. So yeah, it's a pretty symbiotic relationship.
The X-Men movies were pivotal in shaping the current landscape of the superhero movie. Can you tell us, even recently in Deadpool and Wolverine, there was a tribute to the 20th Century Fox movies. Personally, how do you feel your movies have affected the superhero movie, and what do you think of the legacy of those movies?
Yeah, well, first of all, I went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and me and Hugh Jackman got our big break on the same movie, and so it was really nice to see him back playing Wolverine. And then the fact that they did that tribute to our earlier movies was very touching for me. And in fact, all of those behind-the-scenes videos, I'm standing right off camera. I have to watch it again to see if I'm in it at all, but I don't know. And as far as the legacy goes, you know, when we made the first X-Men movie, people weren't sure how to make a comic book movie. Like, do they take it seriously or do they make fun of it or whatever? And we just were like, let's treat this like a real world with real people and try to make a real movie. And I think taking it seriously like that really set the stage for the success of the Marvel Universe. So I'm very proud of our legacy, and I think we had a positive impact on bringing those stories to life.
Yeah, awesome. I think without the X-Men movies, we wouldn't have gotten the MCU today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the X-Men movies really proved to the studios that a movie that wasn't Batman or Spider-Man or Superman could make money. And so that opened the door for them to make Iron Man and the Hulk and
Avengers. And,
exactly. Eventually Avengers. Yeah.
Hollywood has also been trying to make a Metal Gear Solid movie for years. I think the latest one was there was a director attached to the project, but I don't think there's been any news since then. Besides you, obviously, because you're Solid Snake, I mean, who do you think would be a great choice to play Solid Snake? Like in a
once again,
movie? Yeah.
me. You know, I always like Hugh Jackman for it because I love Hugh, and I think he he's got that sort of Snake look to him. But yeah, it's hard for me to picture anybody else's Snake apart from myself. So I kind of wish they do it animated and I could just do the voice. And,
you know, that would be great. I mean, an animated Metal Gear Solid series or movie.
Yeah, I would love to do an animated series or something like that. So we'll see what occurs in the future.
Yeah, awesome. What do you hope to delve more into in the future? Like, do you hope to get more into comics, into movies, or TV? What's the future like for you?
Well, I have a bunch of projects I'm developing. So I've got a horror action movie over at Fox, and I'm working on a TV show which is sort of related to my having grown up in Japan. There's a number of things that I want to do, but it's all secret until it comes out, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. You've been an advocate for voice actors and their contributions to the industry for a long time. What do you think still needs to change in terms of recognition or treatment of voice actors in the industry? Well,
I think the industry needs to recognize the impact and the talent of the voiceover community. You know, it's always frustrating when you see a famous a character that's been beloved for so long, and then they replace the voice with like Chris Pratt or some celebrity or something. You know, and celebrities are fine, but some of the voiceover talent that we have are so much better at those jobs than movie stars. And so I just hope that, you know, the great voice talent gets the recognition it deserves. I hope that AI stops stealing our voices because it's a bunch of crap, and
exactly.
Will never be as good as a live performance. So I hope the industry just, you know, recognizes the value of what we do.
Thank you so much. I think that's all from me. We're going to move to my colleague for more gaming-related questions. Thank you.
Good.
Thank
all
you,
right.
Mr. David.
Thank you so much.
Obviously, the biggest news surrounding video games and you is your return to the role as Snake. So what has that been like after being gone from the role for so long?
It's just amazing. And the game, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, first of all, it's incredible that Konami chose to make that game, to remaster that game first. But it's arguably the greatest Metal Gear game ever made. It's my favorite.
It was my first exposure to the...
Oh, is that right?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one to start with. So, so what I love about that and the release of the Master Collection Volume 1 is we have a whole new generation of fans that are playing it, and I've got all these young people coming up saying, I just got into Metal Gear this year, and it's so cool because I'm a fan of the games, and it would be a shame for them to sort of disappear into history. So the fact that they're back now is really gratifying, and the fact that I get to go back to do a little work as Snake again is after, starting 25 years ago is incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess going off of that then, how involved have you been in the development of that? Obviously, because it is a remake, so there's obviously it's obviously limited to like what can be kind of reimagined.
Yeah.
But like, how's your involvement in that?
Well, from the beginning, Konami and I started talking about, I came aboard to help do promotion and work with them. They've let me in on what they're doing behind the scenes. I got to play a little bit of the game, a few months ago. There may be some things that I'm doing voice-wise that I can't really talk about yet.
Right. Okay.
But I'm working to support the game and I'm pretty involved, which is nice.
Okay. Voice actors often like bring a lot of themselves into their roles that they play. What part of yourself do you feel like most influences your portrayal of Solid Snake, and how has that changed over the years, if it has?
Well, it's really the soul of Snake, Big Boss and Solid Snake. I feel very close to that character, not just because I played it, but because when I was a young man, I traveled around all my life, and I grew up in Asia and in Japan, and so I dealt with a lot of bullies and stuff, and I used to get in fights, and so I was a fairly tough kid, but at the same time I was a very sensitive kid, and I feel that's the same thing with Solid Snake.
Right.
That he is, he's strong and he's tough, and he'll, he's able to take care of himself. But at the same time, he genuinely cares about the other people in the game. And if people are in danger, if people need help, he can't help himself but jump in. And that has always been my philosophy as well. So, I feel very bonded with all the snakes.
Okay. Someone's also told me as well that about your fondness for your work in a Metroidvania that you were featured in recently, which was, correct me if I'm wrong, Steam Dolls, is that right?
Yeah, Steam Dolls, Order of Chaos.
Yeah. So how was that experience like in comparison to your doing work with Konami and obviously the Metal Gear series and whatnot?
Well, Steam Dolls is a very cool game, and it's very beautiful, and it's coming out soon. I've been working on that for a few years, but the difference is, Metal Gear is a AAA level game put together by a massive studio.
Yeah.
Steam Dolls is like put together by two guys in France, and it's a little independent game, and so. The difference is they have to cobble together the money. It takes a lot longer to put it together. We've been working on it for a few years, and every now and again they call me and say, okay, can you do another round of recording? And so I do, and but it's really fun. I mean, it's clearly a labor of love, and it's very French. Like the humor of it is very very European and funny, and so I'm excited for people to see it, but it was a very different experience from doing like a AAA level game.
Yeah. Then do you think you could share like how that came about? Because obviously, it's a small studio. So like, how did this connection come about, and your involvement in this game?
Well, it's funny. Since I got my big break as a screenwriter on X-Men, I kind of said, well, I don't have to pursue acting if I don't want to. I love acting, but I don't love doing auditions and chasing after it or whatever. So I was like, I'm not going to bother to do many auditions and whatnot. So mostly the acting jobs that I do are just things that people ask me to do.
Right.
And a lot of people are afraid to ask me, will you do my little game or whatever. But typically, if the game looks good, I'll do it. I don't need a lot of money for it or whatever. It's sort of my side job. So Johan, who created Steam Dolls, I think he just reached out to me on Twitter and said, look, I've got this game. Would you be interested? And he showed me the images, and they looked really beautiful. And I said, sure. So we did it, and I'm really glad I did. So, if there's any game developers out there and you've got some cool thing, you want to run it past me, just reach out on Twitter or something, and you might be surprised that I'd be interested.
Well, that's awesome. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Then going off of that, then obviously you know, your writing work is something that a lot of people know you for as well, on top of your voice acting work. And I wanted to get your perspective on kind of how narratives are slowly, I mean, over the past couple of years, games have become a lot more narrative heavy, with games like God of War, Black Myth Wukong recently as well. So I wanted to get your perspective on, do you think that that's going to be a trend going forward permanently? Like, do you think writers are going to have a bigger foothold in the gaming industry now that games are becoming a lot more narrative driven?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, a game with just great gameplay is very exciting, and big set pieces. It's very exciting, but I think the game companies are realizing what the movie companies have always known, that a human story that runs through it adds so much more. Like Ghost of Tsushima or something. You get attached to Jin, and you want to see where his journey goes, and then when he's about to get killed, you really are worried for him. And and that really started to a certain extent with Metal Gear Solid. So, and again, it goes back to Snake. He's not just, some tough guy who's like, I'll kick your ass, and, like that sort of thing. He's a genuinely well-rounded character, and when, like in Metal Gear 4, when he crawls through the microwave tunnel and it's so painful, like you really feel that emotion. And so, I think that's more compelling, and I think that if you have really good writing and character development in a game, it makes the game it makes you feel like you're living a movie.
Right, exactly.
So, I think that just makes for a more compelling story, probably sells more copies, and I think it will definitely remain a big part of gaming,
What's one aspect of voice acting for video games that you feel still doesn't get enough attention or credit?
Acting is acting, and it's a matter of understanding the moment, telling the story of the moment, and feeling the emotion of it. But voice acting has an extra layer of, because it's not your face and it's not your eyes communicating it, there's a little extra that goes into it that just makes you feel the movement of it, the emotion of it, and it's something that I think, because like a lot of on-camera actors are very still and they act with their eyes. And
Anthony Sarkis, is Anthony Sarkis?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, that's it. Yeah. I mean, he's a perfect example of that.
Totally.
Amazing eye actor.
Well, but also one of the greatest voice actors in the world.
Right, exactly as well.
So when he's on camera, he's acting with his face, and you can see the emotion coming through. But when he's acting with just his voice, it's even more. It's even richer, and it's even more evocative. And so people need to realize that the voice acting is a specific skill unto itself, and there is no better example than Andy Serkis. All right, perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure. I don't want to take too much of your time. My colleague Alisha has a bunch of snacks for you to try. Okay.
So, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for your time.
So, hi David.
Hello.
So I'm gonna give you some choices here for voice actors. So the first two names.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Before you go, I want to say, I know all of these people, and they're all my friends, and they're all like extremely talented.
You don't have to give reasons.
I just want to make sure that the people I don't pick know that I still love them, and I think they're amazing.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. So the first two names is Troy Baker, Tara Strong.
I guess I would say Tara Strong, even though every time I go to one of these shows and I take a nap, she takes a picture of me sleeping and then posts it.
All right.
But she's very talented. And Troy is so talented.
All right. Okay. So we have Tara Strong and Matthew Mercer.
I'll go Matthew Mercer.
All right. Matthew Mercer, Grey Delisle.
Grey Delisle.
All right. So Nolan North and Grey Delisle.
This is so hard. These people are so talented. Grey Delisle.
Grey Delisle, Jennifer Hale.
I owe my entire career to Jennifer Hale, and she is the greatest voice actress in the world.
All right, got it. Jennifer Hale, Lance Riddick.
No offense to Lance, I would go Jennifer Hale.
All right, Jennifer Hale, and last but not least, Kevin Conroy.
That's like impossible. I'm going to go Jennifer Hale because I think she's the greatest in the world, and she's one of my very best friends. But Kevin Conroy is my Batman, and I loved him to death. So I'm going to say Jennifer Hale.
So we have our ultimate winner, Jennifer Hill. Thank you,
right.
guys. One more thing. So I want you to sign this.
Okay.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit of a backstory of doing this shooting?
This was my very first movie, and certainly my first lead role in a movie. I auditioned for this in 1993, and we shot this movie, part of this movie, up in the Angeles Crest Forest in outside of Los Angeles. And it was like a summer camp where we got to shoot a movie, and I got to be like Batman. And I met my wife on that movie, and we're still together today. So this was a very special experience, and I think the action sequences are still some of the best ever filmed, and I just love this movie all to death.
All right. Thank you so much, David. All right.
Okay. Pop something.
Yes.
What is it called?
Pom pom. Popo.
Popo. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's try this. Popo. Tasty. That is a solid snack.
1 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Oh, awesome.
What's it called?
It's a crab flavor. They just put a cat on it.
It's crab flavor, but they put a cat on it?
No, just cat logo. There's nothing cat on it.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
All right, let's try it. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can taste the crab. It's very delicious.
Right. So 1 to 5.
Well, the flavor is as good as the last one, but it's a little sticks, so I'll say 3 out of 5.
All right.
Oh, super ring.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna eat another one. I like the consistency and the circular shape, so I'm gonna give that a 5 out of 5.
This is like one of the oldest Malaysian snacks there is.
Unidentified flavor.
Yes.
It's sort of a fruity flavor. Is that right?
Yeah. It's cherry.
Cherry, okay. I would give that a 3 out of 5.
All right. So our winner will be Super Ring.
That is the most solid snack. It's the winner. The clear winner.
All right. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for those interviews with David B. Hayter. I'm not gonna lie, we were all a bit nervous. I mean, it's David B. Hayter, like the voice actor for Solid Snake. So to be in the presence of such an iconic character was just a tad bit overwhelming. And if I'm gonna be honest, he does look like a scary guy, but he couldn't be anything more than the opposite. Probably one of the most down-to-earth people that I've interviewed in this industry. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. My name's been Lewis from Kakuchopurei, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao for now.